Hi everybody, it's Tina Plackinger. It's in the middle of the night, very, very early in the morning. And I just thought, instead of sitting here talking to myself, I would go ahead and make a video. Yeah, now see, I have nothing to say, right? Anyways, the way I live out here, because of being targeted, where basically I've been put on a shelf, and I make these videos, not a lot, but I make these videos, and I try to come off, I do come off, for the most part, positive, okay, And what that does is it entices people to want to possibly, come and live on the property here, be a roommate, not in my home, but I recently got just a wonderful person, very close to my age. I have 2 RV hookups here. And one is very nice. It's covered. It's just it would be perfect. Okay. And what is happening here, and I can't sleep, and it's such a distraction to me. And of course, this would be happening, closing in on my 11th week of training. This is the second distraction now. Okay. Everybody pretty much knows that I've given myself 12 weeks of training to come out with this spinal decompression machine that I am endorsing, and will be demonstrating in a video. So I'm preparing for that from scratch. I had to order some tank tops, and I needed to order some shorts. I have 2 channels now, okay? This one is for gang stalking. The other one is Tina's no-nonsense training. And, even the clothes that I'm wearing, jumping on the trampoline, is just, hideous. Things are coming apart at the seams, rags. So it's taken me a while now to stay focused, to get the things that I need, everything other than getting my hair done. But that's scheduled, okay? It's a big project for me. This has been going on now for a while. And I'm coming in on the close of it. And somebody suggested, or sort of was interested in coming and parking their RV here and living here. We came up with a very meager amount for rent to, pay for utilities and whatnot. Insurance on the property, because there has to be insurance if somebody's going to be here. You know what I mean? In case something happens. So, here it is, wee hours of the morning, and, the first thing that I do in the morning is I train, so that, messes that up. But it's and you know what it is? I'm torn. There's this part of me that wants to go this way, because, I'm thinking about how nice it would be to have someone here. And it would probably work. Because there's the RV part hookup over here. And, I'm not living underneath the same roof with someone. And then there's that other part of me that knows full well that it wouldn't work out. Thank you, Jesus. So I've been in prayer this morning about this, listening to my CD, John, the book of John, the apostle that Jesus loved. That's what Apostle John called himself. He was the disciple that Jesus loved. He felt that Jesus loved him the most. So that's why I say that. Yeah, I've been listening to that and just praying about this, and this person is would be ideal. This person is just wonderful, and um, see, the thing is that the way I live out here in the middle of nowhere with people around that you want absolutely nothing to do with. They follow the false light, and they're in organizations. And if they're not, they're people that hang with those people. So it's all one clump. Okay, that I'm in hell. I'm in hell. People don't know that. People watch my videos and they see me outside and they hear the birds tweeting and it's beautiful and all that stuff. And yeah, things have changed the last 3 months. They have. Thank you, Father. I am very grateful. And I'm going through the whole adjustment of it and learning how to live, and it's what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old dude that was the librarian in that movie Shawshank Redemption. I think they called him Bird or Birdie. He was the old man, and when he was like in his 80s, he had been in prison his whole life. And when he was in his 80s, they cut him loose, and they let him out. He ended up hanging himself. When he went in, I believe they had horse and buggy. When they let him out, they had, automobiles and jets and all kinds of stuff. He couldn't deal with it. He had absolutely no friends. He had no structure, no lessons on how to live the world the way it is. He had been institutionalized his whole life. And they just threw him out there, gave him a job in a grocery store bagging groceries, and expected him to live his life. And he couldn't, he didn't know how to do it, and he hung himself. That's what it reminds me of, my lifestyle out here. My lifestyle out here has been very isolated, okay? And it's not quite as dramatic as Birdie in the Shawshank Redemption, but the last 3 months since, being without the breakers on and other certain things, the way I have to live for my health, it takes some adjusting. It takes some getting used to. I feel like I've just gotten out of a mental prison. And one of the cool things is the praise report I have with this is that the other day I went, if you're interested, you can go to my website and go to the page that reads Bad Back. Again, something else that I had to do by myself because the web page designer from my publisher, my book publisher for Treading on Serpents, wasn't responding to me. So I sort of turned my blog page into this cool ad for this spinal decompression machine that I'm endorsing. And I was talking with my mom, and she was bringing up stuff from the past. She likes to do that. She tries to keep me remembering how creative I used to be. Well, I haven't created anything. I mean, sure, I wrote the book and I did that, but that too was, that was a hell in itself right there. So so the web page that I put together the other day was the first thing that I have created in 20 years. My mom sends me these cards. I used to make cards, on the computer, greeting cards and funny cards and labels and all. I was very, very creative, and all that went out the window because when you have motion sensors on you, that when you are in one part of the property or you leave your back door and then the neighbors come out and they start hollering certain things, and this goes on day after day, year after year, until you're actually wearing earplugs because you don't want to lose your mind. Or end up in jail for something that you're wanting to do. I don't know, I just lost my train of thought. See, my mind is getting better, though. It really is. That's part of the isolation as well, you know. What was I going to say now? The mental prison. You don't have the freedom to be creative. So I'm going through this major adjustment. And anyways, you know, some things, Birdie, the guy in Shawshank Redemption, okay, when he got out, there was nothing familiar to him. Nothing. Okay. My saving grace is that this is a perfect setup for me, even though I don't have all the equipment. I don't even have a flat bench. But the 2 cinder blocks with the plank of wood and the towel and the rolled up towel for behind, you know, it works. It works. So, but I have some equipment here, okay? It's a perfect setup for me to train and stay focused on this goal that I have, which was 12 weeks and then make this demonstration video on this back machine. It's perfect for that. Everything is just perfect and it's ideal. To try to change it and think about, and that's my saving grace. That's my saving grace, because without that, I probably would be just like Birdie. You know, not able to handle it, not able to take it. And you know, when you live like this, totally isolated, and I'm very grateful for my place, but this is not a place to have where you need to be. You know, people don't. My nephew, who we, of course, because the gang's talking, we don't talk anymore. But my nephew, he always talked for years about living off the grid. He wanted to live off the grid, okay? He came out here about, I don't know what it was, 3 or 4 years ago. He lasted 3 days. He had everything, too. You know, the hammock that hangs in the trees and all kinds of survival stuff. He had the weapons and all this stuff. After 3 days, he was going batty because he didn't have Wi-Fi. A lot of people, you know, they want to live off the grid, but they can't live without the internet. They can't live without the cell phones. And out here, I have the Wi-Fi disconnected because I lose all my data with the Wi-Fi on. You know, the breakers are off. It's crazy, okay? I don't know if I want to have someone here who is a big YouTuber who's going to be bringing in internet boosters and trying to figure out how to do Wi-Fi and all that stuff. You know, do I want to bring the city out here? I know I've been out here for 10 years, minus 20 months that I was in Chicago, okay? I've been out here 10 years with motion sensors and stuff on me, you know, and the high frequencies of the RFs and the EFs and all that. And just recently I've been able to figure out what to do with that, and I'm feeling better and, you know, getting back into training to bring you guys some tips on getting healthier. Because there's a lot of suffering out there. You know, this isn't the place. I don't want to bring all that stuff here. I've worked too hard to disconnect it all. Why bring it here so that I have a friend? I'm really torn, very, very torn. You know, to the point of, you know, being up in the middle of the night, not being able to sleep, and I have to get up and train. It's a distraction. And I have to lovingly tell this person that this is not the place for them. This is like a monastery. Okay, we're in one of those places where the monks are and they don't talk. This is what this is like. It's the secret place of the Most High. You know, when you're tortured and you're being tormented, you abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I have. You know, I don't care if you have to put your head, get on your knees and, you know, put your head in a pillow between your knees and talk to Jesus, you know. But that's where I've lived for many, many years with nobody. I was sexually assaulted out here, and I had to stay out here. There was nowhere else for me to go. I mean, they tried to scare me out. They tried to shame me out, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, take things from me. I couldn't go to the law because they were in on it. It was horrible. Where did I have to go? To the secret place of the Most High. That was the only place I could survive. The secret place of the Most High, where I lived under the shadow of the Almighty. And that's what I do here. I live under the shadow of the Almighty. It's not for everybody. Most people, they're gang stalked, but they're not gang stalked like me. I'm not saying that everybody, there's nobody that lives isolated like me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that most people have people around them. Most people talk to other people. They intermingle. Most people couldn't live the way I live. I do my videos to stay alive and to be somewhat mingling with others, even though it is a very unfulfilling friendship, having online connections and things. That is not like having somebody in the same room with you. And so I have been, I'm very torn, very, very torn. You know, I think of, oh, gee, you know, I've been waiting for somebody to come and rescue me. Why do I want to help somebody and have them come out here and then bring the city with them? You know, I can't do that. I can't. And I have to come to that decision and know that. And I'm very, very disturbed by it. You know, DirecTV, they gave me a bunch of movie channels. They said it was for free, and I talked till I was blue in the face to the lady on the phone to make sure that it was free, and she straight up lied to me. So when I got my bill, it was $17 more. So I had to call DirecTV, you know, and that takes 45 minutes. And, you know, I told them, they gave me Showtime, Cinemax, and Stars. Are you kidding me? I mean, they did that when I was going into my 10th week of training. And talk about wanting to distract me. There was another distraction there. When I called them a few days ago, I told them to take all that stuff out of here. I don't want that stuff. I don't want to be sitting in front of the TV. I have a plan right now. I am doing a plan, and I know I'm really unique. A lot of people, you know, I mean, I'm doing something that is just, it probably has not been done before, you know, by somebody who has been starting from scratch on everything. And so it was just another distraction, and I have to, you know, come to grips with the fact that I am okay. Everything is okay the way it is. And, you know, my dogs die, I bury them on the property. I leave once a month, sometimes once every 2 months I leave. I have cobwebs on the vehicles. You know, the Lord is taking care of me, but I live a life that is not mainstream at all, but my life has never been mainstream. And I find that when I watch too many movies, or I'm on the internet too much, or I'm going to YouTube channels that I shouldn't be on to get myself all worked up and upset, okay? Or possibly even sometimes emailing others who, I mean, can I relate to their life? Sure, because I used to have one. But my life isn't at all like theirs, And there's only a very small handful, like half of a handful of regular people that I talk to regularly, and they keep me sort of in touch with what's going on. Plus, my mother makes me call her once a day, or she calls me. So, that's, could I live without all that? Yes, but I don't choose to. And, but I think at this point I have made a decision that I need to stay where I am right now, living the way I am right now, and just stay real close to the Lord. And it's funny because if the torture lets up some, I find that I'm actually not quite as happy as I was when I was really being tortured, because when the torture is happening, I'm on my knees, and I'm hiding in the secret place of the Most High, and I'm abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. And my best friend and my only friend is Jesus. And there's some happiness there. Whereas when the torture lets up and I start getting into the worldly things, and then I start dreaming about having life be back the way it used to be 20 years ago, which life isn't even like it was 20 years ago. It's not. I'm not as happy. So, anyways, I really thank you for listening to me today. It needed to be said. I'm sure that it's helped somebody, and that's my job. That's really what I'm supposed to be doing, is carrying the message of just me, I guess. So thank you very much. God bless you, and I will see you soon.